Hello guys, I'm Apurva and welcome back to WeDesified. As most of you already know, I am a PhD student studying at Indiana University, and I have been asked lately to share my journey as to how I got an admit to the PhD program here in the US. So today I thought let's just sit down and talk to you guys about my journey and experience. In this video, I am going to tell you all the things that help me to get admission in the PhD program in the US with full fee waiver, stipend and health insurance. So let's get started, but before that, please subscribe to our channel and also hit the bell icon so that you will be notified every time we upload a new video. To give you guys a little background, I did my bachelor's and master's in economics from University of Mumbai and directly applied for a PhD program in the US for fall 2017. Which most people generally don't do because many people come here for masters first and then continue to a PhD program in the same or a different university. And so that's why I was clueless and had so many questions about the entire process back then. Because of which we thought of starting this YouTube channel, as we exactly know what students go through and we can help and guide them through this process. So make sure you check out all our videos from the Study in the USA series. Enrolling in a PhD program is tough and requires a lot of dedication and to keep that motivation alive for good 5-6 years. So if you're ready for this kind of commitment and are really keen on research, then only go for this program. In my case, I always loved economics and wanted to study more about it. I wanted to get the highest level of education possible for me, which will help me even while entering the job market. And that was my motivation for PhD. Now, when I decided to apply for a PhD in economics program, I wasn't sure about which university to apply to because there are so many things like college ranking, location, coursework, etc. So I went on to American Economic Association website, which has a comprehensive list of all universities in the US offering PhD and Masters in Economics program. You can search for a similar website depending upon your field of study. I went onto that website and checked out every single university listed on it and shortlisted universities according to my criteria, like their GRE and TOEFL requirement, any prerequisites, university ranking, location, weather, standard of living, Indian community in and around campus, etc. So I shortlisted about 40 universities from around more than 250 universities from that list. After that, I started checking out the faculty profiles of each of these universities and tried to find one professor from each of them whose research interest matched with mine. I then went ahead and emailed all these professors introducing myself, showing interest in their PhD program and asking their guidance. I received about 20 replies from that pool, which is like 50%, and I never heard from the rest 20, even after a follow-up. Now, one problem which I thought might be the main reason for professors not replying to my email is maybe because I didn't have any official college email ID at that time. In India, it's very common to use Gmail or Yahoo for sending and replying to emails. But that's not the case in US. Here, everyone has an official school email ID. So it's possible that my email might have gone to some of their spam folders and so they might have not even read my email. So make sure you don't do the same mistake. Now, contacting professors before you apply for a PhD program in that particular university helps you in many ways. To begin with, if the same professor happens to be in the admissions committee, then he or she might refer you. So that increases your chances of getting an admit. Secondly, the professor might get really interested to work with you after looking at your profile, and you might end up researching under him or her, or even make him or her as your advisor. Or at least you will know your chance of getting an admit, which can save you on application fees and effort. Also, as Dr. Mangilal Agarwal told in his interview with us, do not email more than one professor from a particular department, because then it lowers your credibility, showing that you are not really interested to work with that particular professor, but more interested in just getting that admit. This is certainly not a good impression to have. Dr. Mangilal Agarwal has given very useful advice in his interview, so make sure you check that video out. Anyways, so the 20 responses I received from the professors were not all positive. Some upfront encouraged me to apply to their program while some politely suggested not to. By then, I was sure that I wanted to have some options, and so out of those very positive and encouraging responses, I applied to 6 universities for PhD economics program and 4 universities for Masters in Economics programs just in case, because I wasn't sure if universities in the US would directly accept me for a PhD program or not. While I was hunting down what all universities to apply to, I was preparing for GRE and TOEFL tests simultaneously. So I knew approximately what range I should be scoring. For example, for a PhD economics program, you need to have a really high GRE quant score and a high TOEFL speaking score. So I knew which areas to focus more. We have made few useful videos discussing tips and tricks for GRE and TOEFL test, and also about SOP and LOR, so make sure you check them out. Now, by the time I completed my shortlisting for universities, I was ready with my test score, SOP and some other requirements like sample essay. Some universities ask for your research paper or an article, so depending on that you have to make sure that you have it ready before you start your application process. The deadlines for PhD programs are generally sooner than master's program. So if you are a PhD aspirant, then please keep this in mind when you start the process. And also while approaching your professors to write recommendation letters for you. I took one LOR from HOD in my bachelor's program and remaining 2 LORs from assistant professors in my master's program. I had a very good rapport with all my professors from the beginning, and so when I asked them to submit recommendation letter, they did it immediately, like way before the application deadlines. So I didn't have to worry much or check with them constantly. So make sure you ask professors for LOR whom you have good relations with, because applying to 7 to 8 different universities means submitting 7 to 8 different LORs. So that's a lot of work. Also make sure that your professors submit their recommendation through the official university email ID and not their personal email ID. I was done with submitting all my applications by December first week, and I started getting acceptance letters by around end of February. Now each department or programs have their own procedure, so some might ask for a Skype interview round 2. But in my case, I wasn't required to have an interview, and so I directly started receiving my offer letters. Some of them were offering me partial and some full tuition aid, stipend, health insurance. And so I selected the one that promised me 5 years of full fee waiver, assistantship and health insurance. And also where my research interest matched the most with the faculty. So that's how I got into Indiana University, and then it was just the usual process of getting an I-20, booking visa slots, etc. We will come up with a detailed video on that too, where we will explain what you are expected to do once you receive an admit letter. Also, getting an admit to a PhD program is just one step, but what really goes on during a PhD program, like the coursework, research, qualifying exams, is just a different story altogether. And we will soon come up with a video talking about how my PhD journey is going on. So stay tuned for that, and please subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions, then please ask in the comment section below. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.